Close your eyes and let your breath slow. You have carried enough today. You have thought enough, planned enough, and done enough. Right now, in this moment, you are allowed to simply be. There is nowhere you need to go. There is nothing you need to solve. The world outside your window can wait until morning. All that matters now is this breath, the one you are taking right now, and the slow, drifting journey that begins a moment you allow yourself to let go. Tonight, we are going somewhere beautiful. Imagine for just a moment that you are standing at the edge of a wide and gentle valley. It is the very last hour before sunset, that magical hazy time when the light turns golden and everything in the world seems to soften at its edges. The sky above you is a warm canvas of peach and amber, and the air that touches your face is neither too warm nor too cool. It is perfectly balanced, as if the earth itself has arranged the temperature just for you. You feel the ground beneath your feet, soft, yielding grass, still holding a little warmth from the afternoon sun. Your shoes are off. You cannot remember when you took them off, but your bare feet feel wonderful against the earth. Each blade of grass is a small, cool ribbon pressing gently between your toes. You breathe in deeply, and the air carries the scent of wildflowers and distant pine, layered underneath it all with that unmistakable freshness that only open, unhurried places possess. This is the Whispering Valley, and it has been waiting for you. There are no roads here. No traffic sounds reach this place. No notifications, no reminders, no voices calling your name with anything urgent. There is only the slow sigh of a breeze through tall grasses, the distant melodic call of a bird settling into its evening roost, and the sound of a small stream somewhere below, talking quietly to itself as it makes its way toward the far meadow. Take a moment to simply stand here. Feel the weight of your shoulders release. Feel your jaw unclench. Let your hands fall open at your sides. You do not need to grip the day any longer. The valley stretches out before you, wide and green and impossibly peaceful, cradled on three sides by low, rolling hills covered in dark woodland. You can see the tops of oak and beech trees catching the last golden light, their uppermost leaves glowing like small lanterns. A family of deer, 3 of them, are grazing at the far edge of the meadow, so still and serene that they almost look like they were painted into the landscape. You begin to walk down the gentle slope toward the valley floor. Your steps are slow. There is no hurry in this place. Each step feels deliberate, grounding, real. Heel, then arch, then toes, pressing into the soft earth. The grass bends softly around your feet as you move, springing back gently behind you. You leave the lightest of trails, and somewhere, you know, the evening will erase even that. As you descend, the sounds of the valley grow clearer and more distinct. The stream is louder now, a soft, continuous music, like someone playing a gentle melody on a very small instrument. The breeze stirs again, and you hear it move through the grasses with a hushing sound, as if the valley itself is murmuring, "Be still, be still." You are nearly at the valley floor now, and with each step you feel heavier, not in a tired or burdened way, but in the way of someone finally allowed to rest, as if gravity has become more generous, more kind, pulling you gently and lovingly toward the good, warm earth. The meadow at the valley floor is vast and open, surrounded on all sides by the gentle hills and their dark crowns of trees. The grass here is longer, knee-height in places, and woven through with wildflowers in pale yellows, soft purples, and creamy whites. You cannot name all of them. You do not need to. They are simply beautiful, and they nod very gently in the evening air as you pass among them. The stream is close now. You can hear it clearly, a continuous rippling sound that is deeply, fundamentally restful. Something about moving water speaks to the oldest part of the brain, the part that remembers what safety sounds like. You feel your body respond to it automatically, muscles loosening, thoughts softening at their edges, each breath falling into an easier, slower rhythm. You find a large, flat stone near the bank of the stream and sit down on it. The stone is smooth and warm, and it fixed the shape of you comfortably, as if it has been waiting in just this spot for just this moment. You lean back on your hands, feel the solid warmth of it under your palms, and turn your face toward the last of the sunset light. They look extraordinarily peaceful, just holding, just being held. A dragonfly appears from nowhere, hovers for a moment over the surface of the water, its wings a transparent blur, its body an iridescent blue-green, and then vanishes again into the tall grasses on the far bank. You watch the space where it was for a moment, then let your gaze drift. Everything here moves slowly. Even the light seems to move slowly, shifting by degrees through its evening colors, taking its time, in no hurry to become darkness. The shadows of the trees on the hillside lengthen across the meadow, cool and blue. A robin lands on a stone a few meters away from you, tips its head to one side, regards you for a moment with one bright eye, then turns to the grass and begins to listen for things underground. It seems entirely untroubled by your presence. You seem entirely untroubled by its. You stay on the warm stone for a long while. There is nothing to do. There is nowhere to be. The stream talks to itself. The meadow breathes. The sky changes color by slow degree. Your own breathing, you notice, has deepened and settled. In through your nose, filling your chest and belly, and out through your lips in a long, unhurried exhale. Your heartbeat has slowed. The tight, busy feeling that lives between your shoulder blades has begun, quietly and without ceremony, to dissolve. You think about nothing in particular, or rather, thoughts come and go, the way small clouds cross a summer sky, present for a moment, moving on, replaced by sky. You do not chase them. You do not analyze them. You simply watch them pass with the detached and pleasant interest of someone watching birds from a window. A thought about tomorrow's schedule drifts by. You let it go. A thought about something you said last week. You let it go. A thought about nothing at all, just a feeling, warm and formless, like sunlight through closed eyelids. You hold that one for a moment. It feels like home. Then it too passes, and you are left with the sound of the stream, and the warm stone, and the evening. The sky is deepening now. The gold has gone from it, replaced by a rich marine blue in the east. The clouds on the western horizon are fading from orange to a deep smoky rose, then to gray. The air is cooler now, just perceptibly, and carries with it the fresh, slightly mineral smell of evening settling over the land. You stand slowly from the stone. Your body feels easy and loose. Your feet find the grass again, still just barely warm from the day. You walk along the bank of the stream for a while, not with any particular destination in mind, simply moving, enjoying the sensation of motion and evening air, and the quiet, continuous music of the water beside you. You come to a place where the stream bends and where an old willow tree leans out over the water. Its long branches trailing in the current like the fingers of a hand dragged through water in an idle moment. The willow is enormous, its trunk wider than your arm span, and very old. The bark is deeply furrowed and covered in patches with soft gray lichen. It has been here for a very long time. It has watched many evenings come and go. It holds no anxiety about the passage of time. It simply stands and grows and trails its fingers in the stream. You lean your back against its great trunk. The bark is rough and solid against your spine. You feel, for a moment, the whole weight of the tree behind you, its roots going deep into the earth, its branches going high into the evening air, and you feel held by it, supported, the way you might lean against a wall that you know is not going to move. A breeze comes through the willow branches and sets them swaying and whispering, and the sound is like rain on leaves, like the pages of a book turned slowly in a quiet room. You close your eyes, you feel the evening air on your face, you hear the stream and the willow, and far away, very faintly, the sleepy call of a wood pigeon settling into the trees on the hillside. You could stay here forever, you think, and in a certain sense, the part of you that is now resting, the deep, quiet, unhurried part, will always be here. This valley exists inside you. It will be here whenever you need it. You breathe in, deeply. You breathe out, slowly. When you finally lift your eyes from the stream and the swaying willow branches, you notice something you had not seen before. A small light, warm and amber, at the edge of the tree line on the hill to the east. It is steady and golden, the light of a window, and below it, just visible in the gathering dusk, the dark shape of a small cottage, set back among the first trees of the forest, half hidden in the shadow of an old apple orchard. Something about that light calls to you. You begin to walk toward it, crossing the meadow in the cool evening air. The grass is wet with the first dew now, and it brushes your legs with 1,000 small cold touches as you move through it. The sky above you has deepened to a rich indigo in the east, and the first real stars are becoming visible, not just one or two now, but a scattering, and then more again, as if the night sky is slowly remembering itself. The path up the hill is easy, gentle, winding, worn soft by years of use. Wildflowers grow along its edges, their pale petals nearly luminous in the low light. Somewhere in the trees ahead, a nightingale begins to sing. The song fills the evening with an almost unbearable beauty, long, liquid notes that rise and fall and pause and begin again, full of something that feels very old and very clear and very right. You stop walking for a moment, just to listen. The nightingale sings on, indifferent to being heard, or perhaps in some way that is beyond language, singing precisely because it knows you are listening. You stand very still in the evening air, and the notes move through you like water, and for a moment you feel completely and utterly present, not thinking about the past or the future, not worrying about anything, just here, just the song. Then it stops, as suddenly as it began. The silence that follows is not empty, it is rich and resonant, the way silence is after music. You stand in it for a moment longer, then continue up the path. The cottage is closer now. You can see it clearly, a small stone building, not grand, but deeply, warmly beautiful. Its walls are gray stone, mossy at the base. Its roof is old, covered in slate that has gone silver green with time. There are 2 small windows, both lit from within, and a low wooden door set into an arched stone doorway, above which an old climbing rose, its blossoms finished for the season, but its dark stems still graceful, curls and winds. Beside the cottage an apple orchard, 4 or 5 old trees, gnarled and heavy-limbed, their work for the year complete. Their bark silver gray in the evening light. Fallen apples lie in the long grass beneath them, gleaming softly. There is a wooden bench outside the cottage door. You sit on it. The wood is warm and smooth, worn smooth by many sittings, polished by hands and time to a gentle gloss. You lean back against the cottage wall and look out over the valley below you. From here you can see the whole sweep of it, the dark meadow, the silver thread of the stream, the distant hills outlined against the last light in the west, which is now a deep glowing ember, barely above the horizon. The air up here smells of apple and wood smoke, and something deeper. The smell of earth and stone and autumn coming. From inside the cottage, through the cracked window, You can hear the very faint crackling of a fire. Not a big roaring fire, just a quiet domestic fire, doing what fires do in the evening, giving warmth and light and the feeling that things are as they should be. You sit on the bench for a long time. A cat appears from around the side of the cottage, large and gray, moving with the slow, deliberate dignity of a very old cat who has decided that haste is beneath her. She sees you, considers you from 3 meters away with large amber eyes, and then, apparently having determined that you present no threat to her evening plans, walks over, steps onto your lap without asking, turns around once, and settles herself with a long sigh. Her weight is warm and real. She begins to purr. The purr is low and slow and deeply rhythmic. You feel it through your legs, into your body. It is, you think, one of the most profoundly restful sounds in the world. A sound that says, I am comfortable, I am safe, I have found a warm place, and I am going to stay here, and everything is fine. Everything is fine. The stars are out in full now. The Milky Way is visible, a faint, wide river of light arching across the sky from one horizon to the other. You watch it for a while, this vast and ancient structure of which you are a tiny, temporary, and somehow essential part. It does not make you feel small. It makes you feel held, cradled somehow, in something so much larger than the worries of a day or a week or a lifetime, so much vaster and more patient than anything that has ever kept you awake. The fire crackles very faintly behind the wall. The cat purrs. The stars wheel imperceptibly overhead. Your breathing is very slow now. You are not quite asleep, but you are not quite fully awake either. You are in that lovely borderland, that country between waking and sleep, where thoughts become loose and strange, and images come unbidden, easy and gentle, like fish rising to the surface of a dark pond. You think of nothing. You think of everything. Some time later, you are not sure how much later, time has become fluid and easy in this place. You find yourself standing at the edge of the forest. The cat has gone, quietly, the way cats do. The cottage light glows warmly behind you. Ahead, the trees begin, great old oaks and beeches, their trunks silver white in the moonlight, their canopies a dark shifting lacework against the star-filled sky. The moon has risen. It is nearly full, broad and bright and very white, hanging halfway up the eastern sky, casting long shadows and turning the forest floor into a mosaic of silver light and deep shadow. It is a world transformed. Everything looks different by moonlight, more mysterious, more still, more deeply itself. You step into the trees. The forest receives you quietly. The leaf litter is soft underfoot, deep and springy, made of many seasons' worth of fallen leaves pressed into a living carpet. Your footsteps make almost no sound. The air is cool and absolutely still in here, sheltered from the evening breeze by the great trunks of the trees. It smells of moss and earth and the faint sweetness of fallen leaves beginning their slow work of returning to soil. The moonlight filters down through gaps in the canopy in broad, silver shafts. Where they fall on the forest floor, they illuminate small worlds. A cluster of toadstools, creamy white and perfect. A fallen log covered in vivid green moss. A spider's web strung between two ferns, studded with tiny droplets of dew that each catch the moonlight and hold it for a moment before letting it go. You walk slowly. There is no path here, or rather there is a sense of direction, a pull, a quiet knowing of where to go. Your feet find the way almost without your involvement. You move between the great trunks, under low-hanging branches, past the dark shapes of holly bushes and elder and hawthorn, and the forest moves with you and around you in its slow, breathing way. The trees here are very old. You can feel their age in the way the bark is, the way the roots rise from the ground and spread like great gray hands, the way the canopy closes overhead in a vault of interlocking branches. Some of these trees have been here for 300 years, or 4 or more. They have watched every kind of weather, every kind of night. They do not know worry, they do not know hurry. They simply grow and drink and breathe and bear their seasons one after another, unhurried, uncomplaining, deeply at ease with time. You rest your hand on the trunk of a great beech tree. The bark is smooth, much smoother than you expected, pale gray and cool under your palm, inscribed here and there with old marks, the scars of fallen branches, healed over long ago and grown smooth again. You feel the solidness of it, the sheer permanence, the absolute groundedness of this tree that has not moved in 300 years and will not move for 300 more. Something in you settles, feeling that. You are moving through the forest now, and the moonlight shifts and changes around you as you go, the canopy opening and closing overhead. In one clearing, a beam of moonlight falls full and bright on a small open space. And the grass here is silver and still and so bright it almost hurts to look at. In the center of it, a fox is sitting, absolutely motionless, ears upright, looking at something you cannot see. She is so beautiful in the moonlight, so perfectly herself, that you stop and hold your breath so as not to disturb her. For a long moment, you and the fox exist in the same world at the same time, and there is something in that, something quiet and profound that is its own kind of grace. Then she flicks one ear, takes 3 unhurried steps into the shadow of the trees, and is gone. You breathe again. The forest is very quiet. You can hear somewhere far above an owl calling, the long wavering hoot of a tawny owl, 3 times, then silence. Then again, from a different direction, a response. You imagine them up there, vast and wise, moving between the treetops on silent wings, seeing everything. The moonlight is extraordinary tonight. You find yourself in a small grove of silver birches, their white bark bright as candles in the darkness, their leaves still gold and rust with the start of autumn, trembling very faintly in a breath of air you can barely feel. The light through the birch leaves makes a shifting, dancing pattern on the ground, and you stand in the middle of it and let it move over you. Your eyes are heavy, not with the tired, gritty heaviness of stress or strain, with the warm, peaceful heaviness of someone who has been moving gently through a beautiful world and is now, naturally and gladly, ready to rest. You find a perfect place to lie down, a soft bank of deep moss at the foot of an ancient oak, sheltered by its roots, canopied by its branches. The moss receives you like something that has been waiting. You lie on your back, looking up at the sky, through the gap in the canopy, the deep, dark sky, studded with stars, with the moon now just visible at the edge of the opening, flooding everything with its calm, silver light. You pull your jacket close. You are warm. You are comfortable. You are safe. The forest breathes around you. The owl calls again, distant now. A leaf, loosened by some small breath of air, spirals down through the moonlight and lands softly somewhere nearby, making no sound at all. You close your eyes. The darkness behind your eyelids is warm and deep and full of color, the color of rest, the color of letting go, the color of the space between one thought and the next, where everything is simple and quiet and fine. Your breathing has become so slow and even now that you can barely track it, in and out, long and easy as the tide, as the turning of seasons, as the slow, unhurried passage of years in this old forest, where nothing is urgent and everything, eventually, is all right. Some hours have passed. The night has deepened and then, almost imperceptibly, begun to lighten at its edges. You are walking again. You do not know when you rose from the moss bank, but you are walking, light-footed and easy, through a forest that is beginning, very quietly, to wake. The birds have not yet started their morning chorus, but the quality of the silence has changed. It is a charged silence now, an expectant one. A silence that is getting ready to become something else. You emerge from the trees onto the shore of a lake. It is perfectly still. In all the water there is not one ripple, not one disturbance. It is a mirror, a dark mirror in which the last stars are reflected with perfect clarity, and the faint gray-green light of pre-dawn along the eastern horizon shimmers in a long inverted streak. The lake is large, larger than you expected. Its far shore barely visible in the darkness, a low line of trees against the barely lightening sky. You stand at the water's edge for a moment. The ground here is soft, dark sand mixed with small pebbles, still cool from the night. The water touches the shore so quietly, with such infinitesimal movement, that it barely makes a sound, just the softest, most intermittent susurration, like breathing, like the gentlest imaginable sigh. A low mist lies over the water. It is thin. You can see through it to the reflected stars below. But it gives the whole surface of the lake a quality of dreams, soft-edged and half-real. It moves very slowly, responding to temperature changes too subtle for you to feel, swirling in almost imperceptible patterns, reforming, dissolving, reforming again. You sit on a smooth log near the water's edge. The world is very quiet. Somewhere across the lake, a single bird makes one tentative sound, a small questioning note, as if it is testing whether morning has arrived yet. Then silence again. Then, a few minutes later, another note. Then silence. The pre-dawn world has its own pace, its own rhythms, and you have entered into them now. The eastern sky is growing perceptibly lighter. What was dark indigo is becoming a deep teal. The horizon is warming, the faintest suggestion of color there, something between gray and gold, barely more than a brightening rather than a hue. The stars on that side of the sky are fading, not gone, but less certain, retreating before the advancing light, like memories at the moment of waking. You watch this happen. You have seen many sunrises in your life, but they are always this particular unrepeatable morning, with its particular quality of light and air and stillness. You will not see this morning again. It is happening once, right now, and you are here for it. The mist on the lake begins to move more purposefully as the air warms fractionally. It gathers itself into low wisps and drifts, moves in slow currents across the surface, bunches at the far shore, and then dissolves. The reflection of the lightening sky in the water shifts from dark blue to gray to the faintest, most luminous pearl. It is extraordinarily beautiful. A heron lands on a rock not far from you. It does so with great deliberation and ceremony, folding its enormous wings with the unhurried care of someone who has done something 10,000 times and has long since stopped being impressed by their own competence. It settles. It becomes a statue. It stares at the water with absolute, unwavering concentration. It is the most patient creature you have ever seen. There is no part of it in a hurry. You watch the heron for a long time. The sky continues to lighten. The color at the horizon has deepened from gray gold to a warm, burnished amber. Above it, a pale gold. Above that, a clear, cold green, fading to the deep blue-gray of the zenith, where a few stars still hold. The first birds have begun now. Not the full chorus yet, but the early risers, the scouts, testing their voices in the nearly light. A robin, clear and confident. A wren, quick and surprising. A blackbird somewhere in the trees behind you, improvising, as blackbirds always do. The world is waking up, but you are in a lovely half state, not asleep, not fully awake, present and drifting, aware of the beauty around you, but not grasping at it, not trying to hold it, simply in it. The way the mist is in the valley, the way the light is in the sky, pervasive, unheld, at ease. The sun has not yet risen, but its light is everywhere now, suffused through the sky, reflected in the lake, touching the tops of the trees with the very first actual gold. The heron has not moved. The lake has not moved. The world holds its breath for one last moment before the day. And in that moment, you feel completely, utterly at rest. Not the rest of unconsciousness, the rest of complete presence, the rest of being exactly where you are, without wishing to be anywhere else, without regret for the past or anxiety about the future. Just this lake, just this breath. The sun comes over the horizon. It is very fast once it starts, the top of it appearing as a bright sliver of gold above the tree line, then growing, swelling, until it is fully there, a great burning circle of warm light flooding the lake and the forest and the valley with pure, direct morning gold. The mist on the water vanishes in seconds, swept away by the warmth. The lake's surface flashes with a million points of light. The birds break into full song. It is overwhelming in the best possible way, layer upon layer of music, each voice distinct and clear, rising from every direction, from the trees and the reeds and the fields beyond, filling the morning air so completely that there is no room in it for anything that is not joy or beauty or the simple astonishing fact of being alive on a morning like this. You close your eyes again. The sunlight falls warm on your face. The birdsong surrounds you, cradling you, carrying you. You are here. You are well. You are rested. The morning is fully arrived now, golden and clear, with a freshness to the air that feels like beginning, like the first page of something good. The lake sparkles. The forest steams gently as the night's dew lifts from the leaves in fine, invisible wreaths. The heron has gone, moved on to some other shore, some other morning's work. You are alone on the lake shore, but alone in the best possible way, held by the world, attended to by its beauty, in no need of anything more. There is a path along the shore. You can see it now, in the morning light, a narrow, soft path winding between the water and the trees. You follow it. The path takes you around the western edge of the lake, through a section of reed beds where red-winged blackbirds call and cling to the swaying stems, through a small woodland of young balders with their dark small cones. Then out into open meadowland again, where the grass is long and seeded, and the morning light comes sideways through it, turning every stem to gold. The river is here. Not a dramatic river, not wide or rushing, but a good, clear river, deep enough to move with authority, shallow enough in places to show its pebble bed, flowing with quiet certainty through the meadow. You walk beside it for a while, listening to its voice, that endlessly varied sound, now louder over a stretch of small rapids, now almost silent in a deep pool edged with watercress and overarched by a hawthorn bush. The meadow smells of morning and cut grass, and the sweet, faintly medicinal scent of meadowsweet, whose cream-colored flowers stand in tall clusters along the riverbank. Bees are already moving through it, slow, purposeful, laden with pollen, following lines of scent you cannot perceive. A kingfisher appears from under the bank, a bolt of impossible color, electric blue and orange, and is gone in half a second, around a bend in the river. You pause where the river widens into a pool. The water here is dark and still at its center, clear and quick at its edges. You can see trout hanging in the current, 2 or 3 of them, large, speckled, motionless except for the slow fan of their tails. The morning light slants down through the water and illuminates the pebbles on the bottom in wavering patterns that shift and reform constantly, endlessly, in the movement of the current. You take off your shoes again. You are barefoot somehow, as you always are in this valley, and you wade to the edge, just to your ankles, into the cool, clear water. It is cold, wonderfully, refreshingly cold, and the pebbles under your feet are smooth and round and different sizes, and the water moves around your ankles with a gentle, insistent pressure. You stand here for a while. The cold water, the warm sun on your face and arms, the sound of the river, the smell of morning, your body awake and alive to sensation, your mind quiet and spacious, your heart easy. This is the whole story, you think, in a very small space. The river, the sun, the cool water, the warm light, the long, unhurried morning. You wade back to the bank and sit in the meadow grass for a while, letting your feet dry in the sun, watching the light on the water, listening to the river and the birds and the bees and the very distant sound of the wind, which is only the barest suggestion of a sound, the kind of sound that is more felt than heard. A butterfly lands on your knee, a small, comma-shaped thing with wings of deep orange edged in brown and white, its wings folding and unfolding very slowly as it warms itself in the sun. You barely breathe for fear of disturbing it. It stays for a full minute before lifting away on some invisible current and vanishing into the meadow. The morning is warm now. You lie back in the grass. The sky above you is the deep, particular blue of a clear autumn morning, saturated, almost luminous, crossed here and there by long, high mare's tails of cloud that are very white and very still. A buzzard is circling above the valley, a large, broad-winged shape, tilting and adjusting, riding a thermal you cannot feel. It makes no sound. It does not need to. The grass bends gently around you. You can feel its individual blades against your hands, your neck, the backs of your legs. You can smell the earth beneath it, dark, loamy, alive. You can feel the ground itself, firm and warm and permanent, supporting the entire weight of you, without effort, without complaint, with the absolute reliability of something that has been doing this for 4.5 billion years, and will go on doing it long after everyone alive today is gone. You are held by the earth, by the morning, by the valley. Your breathing is very slow. Your heart beats steadily, patiently. Your mind is clear and empty. Not the emptiness of boredom or blankness, but the emptiness of a sky after rain, clean and bright and absolutely open. You are not anywhere else right now. You are not thinking about yesterday or tomorrow. You are here, in this meadow, in this light, in this body, on this particular morning, which is yours and only yours, and will never come again. The river path winds eventually out of the meadow and through a small gate in an old stone wall, and on the other side of that wall is a garden. It is cottage garden, the kind that has been growing and evolving for generations, when no one has ever quite been in charge, where things have seeded themselves and spread and combined in ways that no designer planned, but which have achieved a beauty that no design could have fully anticipated. There are roses climbing over an old stone wall, late roses, the last of the season, deep crimson and soft peach and white. There are hollyhocks, tall and faded now, their lower petals fallen, their upper ones still open to the sun. There are lavender bushes, gone silver gray, their flowers long past, but still fragrant, still releasing that deep, clean, ancient smell that is intimately associated in the deepest part of your brain with rest and calm. A wooden bench sits against the south-facing wall in the full morning sun, sheltered from any breeze. You sit on it. The warmth here is extraordinary. The accumulated warmth of the stone wall behind you, heated by hours of sun, radiating back at you like a gentle embrace. The bench is warm. The air is warm. The sun on your face and hands is warm. You let your eyes close for a moment, and the warmth wraps around you and holds you there. Bees move through the garden, not in a hurry, never in a hurry, moving from flower to flower, with that deep, luxurious absorption of creatures engaged in their life's work. Their humming is a sound that is older than language. It is a sound that says, "This garden is alive. This morning is alive. Everything is, in its way, in its place, doing its thing." You breathe in the lavender. You breathe out everything that you no longer need. There is a table in front of the bench, and on it, you notice now, there is a blue ceramic cup of something warm. Tea, perhaps, or something herbal and gentle. It smells of chamomile and honey. You wrap your hands around it. You take a slow sip. It is warm and light and slightly sweet and entirely right. You sit and drink your tea in the morning sun in the old garden. You do not think about anything in particular. You look at the roses, the deep red of the last ones, the way the petals are shaped, curled inward at their centers, into something secret and beautiful. You look at the bees. One of them has landed on a pale pink flower near your knee, and you can see its whole body, gold and black and slightly dusty with pollen, moving over the flower's surface with a kind of absorbed, unconscious grace. You look at the wall behind the garden, ancient and thick with moss and lichen, in pale greens and grays and yellows. Everything here has been here for a long time. Everything here will be here for a long time. You are passing through, as all things pass through. But right now, in this moment, you are here. And this moment, like all moments, is full. It contains everything: the warmth of the sun, the smell of lavender, the weight of the cup in your hands, the sound of the bees, a light on the old wall. This is enough. This is more than enough. This is everything. A cat appears again, the same gray cat, or perhaps a different one. It is hard to say in this valley where cats arrive when they are needed. She jumps onto the bench beside you, turns around twice, and sits down, leaning her warm flank against your leg. The sound is very close and very low and very steady. You finish your tea. You set the cup down. You lean back against the warm wall. The garden breathes around you, full of sun and scent and the low music of bees. The morning is fully brilliant now, blue sky, warm light, the air clean and clear and full of the complex layered smell of a garden in late morning. A butterfly crosses in front of you, large, red and black, a peacock butterfly, its wings spread wide to catch the sun, so still for a moment that it looks like a stained glass window. Then it is gone. Then you are alone again in the garden with the bees and the cat and the warm stone wall. Your eyes are very heavy now, not heavy with worry or weariness, heavy with peace, with the particular deep weight of someone who has been walking through beauty for a long time and has finally arrived somewhere so comfortable and warm and right that the body begins gently and naturally to release its hold on wakefulness. The purring is very low. The bees are very far away now. The sun is warm on your face. Your breathing is barely perceptible. In and out. In and out. The garden is very still. The wall is very warm. The cat is purring. You are completely safe. You are completely at rest. It is evening again. It is always evening in this valley when you return to it. Always that same long, golden, unhurried hour before night. The light is low and warm. The air is still, And you are here again, at the place where the valley begins, at the edge, looking down at the wide and gentle green below, the stream, the meadow, the distant line of trees. You are not sure how long you have been walking. It doesn't matter. In this valley, time is different. It is softer, less insistent, more concerned with the quality of experience than the measurement of it. You could have been here for an hour, or a day, or a week, and the feeling would be the same, a feeling of having lived, of having been present, of having been given something. The stars are coming out. One by one, at first, the brightest ones, the ones that do not wait for full dark. Sirius in the south, brilliant white. Orion rising, his belt 3 steady points of light. And then more, and more, and more, as the sky deepens and the last of the day's light fades from the western edge. You lie down in the meadow grass. It is deep and soft and cool against your back. You can smell the earth, the grass, the faint sweetness of the wildflowers all around you. Above you, the sky is extraordinary, fully dark now, or nearly, and the Milky Way is there, that vast arching river of light. Billions of stars compressed by distance into a luminous cloud. You watch it for a very long time. The stars are not distant, from here. They are close. Close in the way that all beautiful things are close, when you are quiet enough and still enough to really see them. They are enormous and ancient and burning and present, each one a sun, many of them far larger than the sun that warned you in the garden today. And around them, around many of them, worlds we cannot see yet, worlds we may never see, worlds where, perhaps, something is lying in the dark under a sky of unfamiliar stars, looking up at us. The thought is not frightening. It is magnificent. You are one small, temporary, utterly precious point of consciousness on one small planet in this vast and humming universe. You have been given, entirely without merit or deserving, purely by the extraordinary luck of existence, a life. A specific, unrepeatable, improbable life, with days like today, with evenings like this. You breathe in. The Milky Way turns by a fraction of a degree per hour, and you can almost feel it, the movement, the turning, the great slow rotation of the galaxy, doing what it does, unhurried, unperturbed, as it has for 13 billion years, and will for 13 billion more. Your body is very heavy, good heavy, earth heavy. You are sinking into the grass, into the ground, into sleep. Your thoughts have no edges now. They bleed into each other, soft and warm. The stream sounds like music. The stars look like flowers. The whole valley is breathing around you, in and out, in the great slow rhythm of all living things. There is nothing you need to do. There is nothing you need to think. There is nowhere you need to be. There is only this: the grass, the stars, the breathing valley, and the deep, wide, welcoming country of sleep, opening before you like a door into something warm and dark and full of rest. You cross the threshold. You close your eyes. Below waking, beyond the last edge of the valley, you know, there are deeper places. Places without light or sound or narrative. Places that are simply space. The space between one heartbeat and the next, between one breath and the following. Space that is not empty but full, full of the accumulated rest of years, the peace beneath all peace, the ground floor of consciousness that is always there beneath everything else, steady and dark and utterly still. You have reached that place. You are in it now. The valley is above you, sleeping too. The meadow, the stream, the willow, the cottage on the hill, the forest, the lake, the garden, all of them are quiet now, held in the same deep rest that holds you. The deer in the far meadow are lying down, their legs folded beneath them, their great eyes closed. The heron stands motionless at the edge of still water, half asleep, dreaming whatever herons dream. The fox is in her earth, curled tight, her cubs breathing slowly beside her. The owl is still flying. Somewhere in the dark above the forest, the tawny owl moves on silent wings. She does not sleep, not yet, not at this hour. She sees everything below her in perfect detail. The moonlit meadow, the stream, the sleeping deer, the closed cottage, the dark lake. She sees you in the meadow grass, lying still and breathing slow. She makes one long wavering call that echoes across the valley and fades into silence. Then even she is gone. The valley is completely quiet. And deep within that quiet, you rest. You rest the way the trees rest in winter, not dead, not finished, but turned inward, drawing down, conserving and renewing, preparing for what comes next. You rest the way the river rests in a deep pool, where the current is so slow it is almost imperceptible, still moving, still alive, but without any of the urgency of the shallows. You rest the way the earth rests under the stars, patient, immense, complete in itself. Your body is healing itself the way it always does in sleep. Cells repairing, memories consolidating, the great housekeeping of the brain moving through the day's accumulation of experience and laying it down, gently and carefully, in the places where things are kept. This is the work of sleep, not nothing, not absence, but a rich and purposeful interior activity. Your body is being cared for, in the most fundamental way, by itself. You do not need to do anything for this. It happens without your involvement. You simply rest, and the rest does its work. And in the morning, you will be more than you were yesterday. More restored, more clear, more ready. The valley breathes, the stars move, the river runs, and you rest and rest. The night deepens through its middle hours, 2 in the morning, 3, 4, those still dark hours that are the farthest from any light, the quietest hours of the human world, when the fewest cars are moving and the fewest voices are speaking, and the whole diurnal species to which you belong is by and large doing what you are doing, lying in the dark, breathing slowly, letting sleep do its ancient and restorative work. In the valley, these hours are extraordinary. The darkness is profound, no moon now which has set, and the stars giving only the most delicate light, enough to silver the meadow grass faintly, and to make the stream a barely visible thread in the darkness. The sounds have changed too. The birds are silent, the bees are long home. The insects that filled the evening with their high, thin sounds have gone quiet. There is only the stream, and the occasional distant sound of wind in the treetops on the hill, and once, far away, the bark of a fox, sharp and strange in the absolute quiet. And beneath all of it, absolute silence, the silence of the ground, of the roots, of the slow dark work of the earth, the silence of mountains and valleys and rivers and forests and fields doing what they do at the bottom of the night, in the dark, without anyone watching, without any audience. The silence of the world being itself. You are held in that silence, rocked by it almost. The silence has a quality of warmth, of presence. It is not cold or empty, but rich and inhabited, the way a room is warm even when the fire has gone down, because the warmth is in the walls, the floor, the very air. You are held in the warmth of the night's silence, and you breathe and breathe and breathe. Your dreams, if you are dreaming, are not sharply narrative. They are more like weather. Fronts of feeling moving through, landscapes glimpsed and gone, voices that make no particular words, music that has no melody. The deepest sleep is not the sleep of adventures and drama, but the sleep of pure rest, where the dreaming mind walks at its ease, through a country without urgency or direction, simply wandering, simply being. You wander. Through halls of amber light, through gardens that extend further than any garden has a right to, through open fields under enormous skies, along the banks of rivers wider than any river you have seen. And in all of these places, the same feeling, ease, spaciousness, the specific and profound relief of not meeting anything. The hours pass, without measuring them, without watching them, without wishing them to move faster or wishing them to hold still. They simply pass, as they always have, as they always will, the night turning on its axis, carrying you with it. Beyond the eastern hills, the sun is already moving toward the horizon. The darkness of the sky, if you could see it now, is not quite as absolute as it was at midnight. There is the most infinitesimal lightning at the far eastern edge, a difference of darkness rather than any actual light, perceptible only to something more sensitive than human eyes. But the birds know. The first one starts, somewhere in the trees on the hillside, a robin. A single phrase, clear and bell-like in the pre-dawn darkness. Then silence. Then the phrase again, slightly different. The robin is not sure it is morning yet, but it is willing to suggest the possibility. Then a second bird joins, a wren, from very close, its song extraordinarily loud and fast and emphatic for such a small creature. Then a blackbird, and a song thrush, and then, rapidly, as if a decision has been made, the whole dawn chorus begins, rising in volume and complexity and joy, until the air is woven through with song in every direction. A fabric of sound so rich and layered that it stops being individual voices and becomes something like weather, like a warm melodic rain. And under it all, still, you're breathing. Still slow, still easy, still the breath of someone deep in rest. The light comes fast now, once it starts. The eastern sky goes from absolute darkness to dark gray to dove gray to pale gold in the space of minutes. The meadow slowly reveals itself, shapes emerging from the dark, taking on color, deepening. The green of the grass, the silver of the stream, the deep blue-black of the distant tree line. The valley is waking up, but you do not need to wake yet. You do not need to do anything yet. The morning is arriving, and it is beautiful. And you can lie here in the grass and let it arrive around you, over you, while you rest in that lovely half-state between sleep and waking, aware of the bird song, aware of the light, aware of the warmth beginning to return to the air, but still drifting, still soft, still held in the residue of the night's good rest. Let the morning come to you. Let it find you here, easy and unhurried, with last night's deep rest still in you, settled in your bones, in your blood, in the clarity and ease of your mind. There is no hurry. There is no hurry at all. A final note. This valley will be here whenever you need it. You know the way now. You know the meadow at dusk and the warm stone by the stream. You know the willow tree and the cottage on the hill and the gray cat who arrives when she is needed. You know the forest in the moonlight and the lake before dawn and the river path and the garden with the worn stone wall. This valley is yours. It is made of rest and beauty and the accumulated peace of all the good, quiet moments you have ever known. It lives in you, as all truly good places do. When the night is difficult, when sleep will not come easily, when the thoughts circle and the hours stretch, come here. Follow the path down the gentle slope into the meadow. Sit by the stream. Listen. Breathe. Let the valley do what it does. It will take you in. It always does. And when you wake tomorrow, whenever that is, in whatever light, you will carry something of it with you. A little of the meadow's calm. A little of the dawn light on the lake. A little of the lavender and the warm wall and the purring cat and the bees moving through the late roses. Sleep carries us somewhere and brings us back renewed. This is its gift. This has always been its gift. Rest now. You are safe. You are well. The valley breathes around you. The stars wheel overhead. The stream runs on, as it has always run, as it will always run. And you sleep.